Alright, hey guys, I'm gonna study some spots. Oh shit, it's hard to get. Try to fit it in the window nicely. So here's a spot of ace jack offsuit versus a hijack open on the button with 20 big blinds. It's an 83% ICM spot, so this is more of a non-all-in play or a flat call. I gotta study these ICM spots pretty hard, especially the non-final table spots, because I didn't know about these until recently, so I haven't studied the ICM ranges at all. So here, yeah, that's interesting. Just a slither of a jam with ace jack offsuit, but ace queen offsuit is always a jam. King jack suited, king 10 suited, ace 3, ace 4 suited. Combined about half the time, be a jam, and 3-bet non-all-in most of the time. So these are 3-bet bluffs, not as many other hands as I expected. I sometimes 3-bet bluff like ace 7, ace 8 offsuit, ace 5 offsuit, or king 10 offsuit, king 9 offsuit, hands like that, high cards. So it's a little surprised to see these suited aces, but we really want to have the ace blocker. Anyways, and the pairs, they jam a little bit, but not too often. Like 7s, 8s almost always jam here normally. Even 6s, 5s. So it's good to see this. Sometimes I do feel like I'm punting, so it's a good adjustment here. So I like these ranges. ICM ranges look good. So I'm gonna move on to the next spot. There we go. Okay, so it's a multi-way squeeze spot, and ace king offsuit's just, it's like a squeeze all in just over 50% of the time, and a non-all-in raise 9% of the time. These are some multi-way ranges, but this is just chippy read. It's early on in the tournament, so I think it's okay. Actually, it's not that early. But I don't have anything for multi-way on the PVZ site. So anyway, 40 big blind jam, I think it's good. Here I was just checking if this is ever a float or a check raise, because I've studied some stuff in the past, and I know that our worst ace-X with like a backdoor flush draw blocker will sometimes check raise. So with ace of clubs here, ace of spades, ace of hearts, and since ace deuce and ace 3 have gut shots, I think ace 6 is our worst ace-X here with the lowest equity, so I thought maybe it should check raise bluff sometimes. And it does a little bit, but not too much. Like right here, ace of clubs, 6 of spades. Raise, ace of clubs, 6 of hearts, of spades, but ace of clubs, 6 of diamonds isn't. I guess it's just because it blocks less back doors, the 6 of diamonds, and all the diamonds, check out the diamonds, here the diamonds, all the combos with a diamond, check raise less. So, what is it right here? Post flop spot, I remember studying and wanting to have some of our worst ace-X backdoor flush draws and blockers, so I didn't zoom in up here and click those, but they want to check raise sometimes, these ace 6, ace 7, ace 8 suited with backdoor flush draws. Ace 5 is a pair, ace 2 suited. Those are gut shots, but yeah, you get the idea. And then the king X as well. I think a lot of king X, it might just be to be able to continue bluffing on the turn, the ace turn. So if it's ace of clubs, you don't want to have just ace X hands, because then you don't have enough bluffs in theory, I guess. Anyways, stay in that spot. It's the same as duplicate. So here, it'll be hard to see. I have a screen within a screen, so I don't know if it's recording properly. But here it is. I just wanted to see if this is an open. ICM 40% of the field left. Anyway, I think it's a good open because this guy here is 10, 11, 16, 7, and the big blind's 14, 16. I might have messed that stat up because you see reversed, but maybe it's possible now. So it's not within the range, the GTO range, but I think I should be opening quite a bit looser here. So I should probably open like all the 9x offsuit hands, and then King 2 suited, Queen 4 suited, Jack 6 suited, 10 6 suited, 9 6 suited, and then all the ace X, I think. So not insanely looser, but a little bit looser. So I screenshot all these spots and then check them later. This is in the money ICM bubble ranges. I'm using just the ranges for 10 big blinds, even though he has 6.5 big blinds. I think since he's super new, he's 11/8 BPI, PRF or PFR. I can just use the 10 big blind range. Either way, ace and offsuit is a clear fold. I like this calling range as near as good as it seems, and I think that the adjustment here I just made, instead of him jamming from the low jack, I move into the high jack and gave him 10 big blinds. I think it's like a reasonable thing, but I just want to kind of see what my rough calling range is. It is the money bubble, or it's inside the money, so it's not 123 players left, 120k. Anyways. I think with 19 big blinds myself, I think I wouldn't hate it if I called, but I like a fold. So here it's hard, I can't even read this. Sixes, pair of sixes. So we have sixes, button cup, line jack, low jack, and MP or undergun 1, 2, whatever you want to call it. 20 big blinds, 100 players left, same tournament. So I'm facing. The screenshot's not that good. I'm facing a rejam in this hand versus the button. I want to see my calling range. And sixes isn't, I realize sixes isn't ever a call, and it's not really an open. And looking at the big blind, or a small blind, some of these players, it's not the greatest open, but it is still a pretty tight table. Oh, this is a better screenshot. So, yeah, if I use, it's barely even open. So even for 30 really good. I think it's a clear fold, and first jam call tight. I rarely call this tight. Like folding 10 sometimes seems crazy. But jacks plus ace queen suited, ace king off, ace queen that has ace queen that I don't shove. Those are all calls. King queen suited is a raise fold. Seems insane. But kind of going off Jargo's advice here, just that in the money ranges, in the money bubble ranges are good enough, close enough for the actual bubble, and then also for the cashes, for 90% of the cashes nearing the final table. So if 100 people get paid, that's basically the final table. We'll say a couple hundred people get paid. In the money bubble ranges are good enough till the last 20 people. I'm spacing that off there. Just trusting what he said. He seems like he studies ICM quite a bit, and he showed me those charts and stuff. It looks, it's a little hard to interpret, but I just trust the data. So here, I guess I was looking at what my calling range should be. This is in the money bubble ranges, 10 big blinds equal stacks. I use that versus open jam. This is the chippy range, so 4s plus, ace 7 suited plus, ace 8 offsuit plus, king 10 suited plus, king queen off. I used to call this all the time. So this is like a before picture. I guess the next one is the ICM in the bubble, in the money bubble ranges. So 9s plus, ace jack suited, ace queen offsuit. That seems better. Seems good. So I like that. This is another similar situation. I already studied it, but just looking at opening ranges in the money bubble, I have 14 big blinds in early position. Sixes is nowhere nearly high enough to raise there. And in fact, nines, eights, sevens are pure folds as well. So in these high ICM spots, we want to have broadways and suited aces. And I don't really understand why it raises king six suited much more often than king seven through king nine suited. But I think it's just maybe have some more equity on low boards. Not really that sure. I imagine having a six doesn't really block anyone's. Doesn't, no one's gonna do anything with ace six offsuit rejamming more often than they do with ace eight or something like that, or sixes more than eights and nines. Anyway, that's that. Now, I just want to see if this is a flat call. In money bubble ranges, BB versus low jack, 10 big blinds. But since player's tight, I should use the under versus undergun range. So it's 14-11. It's very tight. It's interesting that it should rejam this wide. It feels pretty dirty. So just rejam deuces and fours and fold queen jack offset most of the time, or just rejam all these hands. Yeah, so switch the spot. So I changed this to the last time was versus under the gun, which is how I think I should play, and then this is versus low jack, actual low jack if they're raising a GTO range. And here queen ten offsuit is a bit of a call sometimes, and we can rejam a little bit more with the low pairs, like 5s, 6s, 7s become more of a jam, and then some ace x offsuit. It's good to try to make these adjustments in game if you can. It's hard to be even remotely close to playing perfect, but at least when I study, I'm going to try to study near perfect. So if I think the guy's too tight, I'll just give him an under the gun range. It doesn't make, it just makes sense to me to use that. And here is this is something different. It's hard to see this. I'm in the small blind. Final two tables, I'm 2 out of 14 for on 30 bigs effective. I just want to see what my strategy should be. So I checked it for 25 big blinds, and I'm playing 30 better fold. I do have a note that he is a fish, and the big blind is a fish or a bad player. It's purple colors for bad. But I don't think, it's that profitable flat call here, even though he's fish. And he's probably not going to apply too much pressure for the flat. I'm not sure. Anyway, this is the strategy. So ace 2 to ace 8 suited are pure jams. Ace 8, ace 9, ace 10 are mostly folds. I think this, I don't know. It might have to do with how tight their raising range is, and we don't want to block their folding range. I guess they're raising a lot of these kinds of hands, and we would block them. These are the kinds of hands that they fold, and these kind of hands, jacks plus, they might continue with, tens, nines, they might fold. I'm not really 100% sure about that. And so all these hands are jams. I might have taken 2 for that, no? Alright, that's it for that. First spot, ace 10 suited, butter versus hijack. Ace 10 suited, it's kind of a mix. 20 big blind ranges. It can jam, it can call. I guess it kind of just depends. He sized it up a little bit, so I think I remember I did call. I just want to see. It's 1 out of 10 final table bubble. We'll see if it's a good jam, and it looks like we can jam King 3 to King 7 off almost always. But King 8, King 9 offsuit, they're more raised non-all-ins, raised folds. But anyway, he's not a good player, so I think this is fine. It's still profitable. Imagine the EV difference is very marginal. Alright, we're just open jamming that. And we also don't have equal stacks. I use that. It's the closest thing I can use to approximate. But I have more chips in it, and I'm not risking my life to try to jam there. My turn on it. Here, button cutoff, hijack, low jack, G2. I just want to see if this is an open. I found EqualStack's ICM final table. There's some other ones that have a chip leader here, but I think this range made the most sense to me. So King Jack offsuit, it's a raise most of the time, so I'm happy with that. And this is Ace 10 offsuit, a multi-way spot again. I looked at just the chip EV just for fun kind of thing, just to get an understanding, but it's really hard. I know this Twins guy was a bit too loose, and this guy's probably picking up on that and rejamming a bit wider than normal, but there's no way Ace 10 offsuit is ever calling here. And I think this 7s plus Ace Queen off, Ace Jack suited range is too loose also. I'll probably go 10s plus Ace Queen suited, Ace King off, something like that. And I think I would have to jam. I don't really know. It's pretty dirty. Oh shit. Oh, that was the one. Okay. Oh, here's the. Sorry. It was defounded. I only looked at the left side. So here's kind of an ICM thing. Yeah, that's roughly what I said. I think the opener might call a bit looser than GTO, if it might be like a Queen's plus spot for him. He might call Jacks and Ace King. So maybe I should be a little bit tighter and just go Jacks plus Ace King plus. I'm not too sure. Let's go see. His hands were from a few days ago, like almost a week ago. Some of them, I think. So it's good I remember a lot of them. Ace Queen off here, 13 big blinds from a roll jack. I think there's a side jack on it though. I think it's a clear shove here. This is the hijack range, but I have to bet less than 15 big blinds, so they kind of makes up for that. So again, open a low jack. I like this, just jamming. These guys don't really 3-bet that much. There's some unknown players. So here we have under the gun range for 10 big blinds. I think 5s is a jam, so I think it's okay. I think that's, looking at the table, I'm the only one with 10, so this guy with 18, he can't go, he's going to call tighter than a chart would say. You know, if you check a chart where everybody has 10, these guys who have over 10, they're going to be a lot tighter. There's 18, 23, 13. 40 here with the big line on 34, he's calling much tighter. There's like about a quarter minutes stacking with, it's not that much tighter maybe, but anyway, so I think it's the bottom range, but I think it's really good, and I could probably go a bit looser. with the jams, maybe fours, king eight suited, queen nine suited, jack nine suited, or ace X, ace three suited. I don't know. It's good to know. So this is 27 big blinds. Let's say 30 big blinds effective. Ace jack suited is just a pure call. 83% of the field left. The ICM ranges hijack first button. 3-bet. Yeah. I was pretty sure it was that. I don't think I'd ever 4-bet jam that here. Unless this guy's super loose or something. But even then you might argue that keep all this ace X bluffs in if we just do this. So chippy V here, 6 big blinds, king 3 suited is good. GTO. I guess I don't want to, I don't have any charts for like 10 big blinds for the situation. Sorry, BBC charts, ICM charts are only for 10 big blinds. So here, king 10 suited. I just want to see if it's a rejam. I guess early stages. Or chippy V is a satellite, so chippy V is good. BB versus cutoff. King 3 suited is a pure call. 15 bigs. These are hands I used to rejam. But they have higher ES calls. Yeah, I was checking if this is a good 3-bet bluff slot. ICM ranges with 83% of the field left at 40 big blinds. Ace 7 off is a slither with the time a 3-bet bluff. And I guess I don't see it, but I should check the sizing. He went 2.63, I went 9.65, so it's like 3.5 roughly. I think it's okay. 4x on this stack size. I think it might be, it seems too big. Anyway, moving on. So queen 9 offsuit, hijack is that a jam. With ICM. Let's say 40% of the field left, or this is in the money ICM, in the money bubble. That's what I used. Yeah, I guess it's too loose. I wonder what 40% of the field left. I'll check that quickly here. Sorry about the noise. Doing some laundry. I don't know how good this is going to turn out. I'll turn up the volume a little bit here. So. Yeah, so I could check 10 big blinds, 40% of the field left. Don't put it in there. So queen 9 off is still not a jam, but considering I have less than 10 big blinds, I have 8 big blinds. I think it's okay. What do you have here? It's kind of middling, 83% field left, 40% field left, somewhere around there. 8 is more of a call, and we just never rejam here from the cutoff. It's a good general rule I can remember now. We never rejam 30 big blinds from the button or the cutoff, only from the small blind and the big blind. So, just good to know that flat here. And I should. You can cut off 10 big blinds, 40% of the field left. Queen 9 off is more of a raise fold, but I think the big stack on my left calls the jam pretty tight. And it's a situation, if we all had 10 big blinds, then I should follow this chart. But these guys have more. Or at least this guy's going to call a lot tighter. It should affect my strategy a little bit, and maybe I can widen my shoving range to queen 9 off and raise full queen 8 off, king 8 off, and some off bad hands. Or like more suited hands, queen 7 off suited, king 6 suited. Those hands can be jams. I can raise full, king 4 suited, queen 6 suited, stuff like that. 18 big blinds on the button. I guess I want to see if this is a shove for about 17 big blinds effective. it's more of a raise fold. Ace 5 offsuit shove, Ace 7, Ace 10 offsuit are shoves, but Ace 4 offsuit is more of a raise fold. And it probably makes more like that. I think they, for the situation, 40% ICM, I think that's, people call roughly close to GTO. Even players who don't study the spot too much. It's hard to, it takes skill to adjust your range to different situations, but by default the ranges for this 40% field seem to be around average for just a few spots I looked at. Like in Beefiz's video, Brian Fight's video, he talked about population, he showed some population stats for big blind calling versus small blind, and for 10 big blinds versus shoves, and they fold 68% of the time, which is the GTO percentage for 40% of the field left, or 67% GTO if small blind shove or GTO range. So yeah, it's pretty close, so I can't go too far. I like this anyway. Now I'm king 10 suited, PKO. I found the spot, fist pump shove. Maybe I was just curious about my range here. You know, I'm in second with 12 big blinds, 13 big blinds. It's exactly 12, right? 12, yeah. There are some short stacks, so I guess it's valid to check, but it just kind of shows up at I am at ICM here. But yeah, it's a clear shove, and in a PKO, I guess there's some extra EV potential to get this guy's bounty. So that's always good. It's a decent sized bounty. Anyway, happy with that. I think this is duplicate. I don't know if I adjusted anything here. Did I write something? Alright. Here, 20 and 24 big blinds. 23 and a half. It's ICM spot. Let's just say 20 big blinds. Jack 10 offsuit, mostly jam. About 25 BBs. Jack 10 offsuit, mostly limp. So it's kind of somewhere in the middle. So I guess, you know, here you see it's a jam some of the time, so I think it's fine. And he's a good player, but that might mean that he's going to edge pass here and call a bit tighter than normal. Because it is a pretty soft table, but you know, I don't know. Anyway, I'm happy with the shove. Here, I looked at, you know, I've already talked about this, but back then I didn't review all these spots yet. But yeah, we don't really rejam 30 big blinds from the button cutoff too often. In this situation here, we do though, ace king off, ace 4 suited, 6 ace a little bit. This is in the money bubble ICM. I think 44 get paid in this, so it's really his exact kind of bubble. Jacks is mostly a call here. So queens also, ace queen suited, king suited, ace queen off. These are all calls, and then my non-all in 3 bets are just very polarized. Aces, kings, sometimes ace king suited, and some low suited ace x and some offsuit ace x. Small fraction of the time. So this is a spot where I raised and they 3-bet me and I called. I think pre-flop is fine, it's a good call, GTO kind of call. I was just curious what are the king of diamonds in my hand, what I should do on the flop, and when they bet, I should mostly just call. There's a slither of an all in there. So, oh shit. I fixed this, you can't see that. Anyway, you see the spot. I think I might also look at the turn. Oh, here it is, good. So it's just a duplicate kind of spot. Alright. And I just wanted to check, three bets. These are, don't think these are ICM ranges, but, you know. It's a pretty limited tournament. I could also just check the BBC ranges. For what? 30 big blinds. %, of the field left, 30 big blinds. Oh shit. So bottom race for Sim versus BB 3-bet. Queens, Kings, yeah, still pure call. Okay. Queens can start to jam or 4-bet. Alright, so that's good. Happy with that. Jack 8 suit here, 11 big blinds. I think it's just good. It's a jam. Final table ICM. Seems a bit loose though, for like the in the money bubble. I think you gotta think about who's left to act. If it's all good players left to act or all tight players left to act, then yeah, for sure I should jam this. But if there's a guy that's kind of a maniac, then I should shove much tighter than ICM GTO. Because hands like deuces, threes, fours, like they're gonna be punting if he's calling a lot of hands like ace 8 offsuit and king jack offsuit, queen 10 suit, a lot of hands that I shouldn't call. I wonder if I got this right. I don't know if I used the right ranges. Let me just check these again. Yeah, that's it. Alright. Well, I guess that's good. Just it feels dirty if you're not sure about the players left to act. I like being a little more cautious. But I only have 11 big blinds. I don't have to be super cautious. So here, river spot. I think I should actually value bet. It went I 3-bet pre-flop, and then I think I c-bet the flop, and check the turn and check the river. Now he's betting quarter pot. I think that he could value bet some 10-9, but didn't want to bet the turn and have to, call him all in. You could have hands like king queen, king 10, ace 10. Straight draws and gut shots. You got some flush draws, weak ace x flush draws, and maybe now want to bet ace 8 of clubs, ace 3 of clubs. I don't know. Maybe you think like ace queen, maybe, or ace queen or ace king. Yeah, it's just interesting to see that for GPB I should never fold here. I should either check. So we can see how it played out here. So bet, you call the check, turn goes check check. Maybe I checked again, yeah. So even this bet side, which is a little bigger, and so this should call 5% of the time, go all in 95% of the time. I think if we made it a quarter pot, maybe I'll call a little bit more. But whatever, I don't know. Interesting anyway. I should probably check that for. Oh, these don't have. Okay. For the deeper stacked stuff, I don't have ICM ranges. Like 80 big blinds or something like that. Yeah, and I guess Instead of checking again, should mostly just bet half pot. On the river, that should like that. Okay, that's good to know. And turn 8 is almost a pure check. So I did that part right, I guess. And flop I should mostly see that. So I checked all streets, that's good. I gotta get better at these post flop spots, 3-bet pots especially. Let's see, okay. And these are chippy ranges, but yeah, that's good. Alright, so here, wondering if this is a raise call with very little ICM, 83% ICM, 25 big blinds, button versus BB rejam, close, but I think I should fold. People will rejam less dominated King X than GTO. Yeah. The GTO ranges will have some King 6 suited, King 7 suited type hands, and people don't. I find people, I just don't see that too often. So, which ranges did I see here? 80%, 25 big blinds, button versus. So, worst button race for a scene is going to have King 6 suited, King 7 suited, Jack 8 suited, King Jack off, King Queen. I don't think people jam these two hands. You know, they might jam King 10 suited, King Jack suited, which I still dominate, so I don't know. Maybe that actually makes up for the cancels out. But anyway, just gonna check this out. King 10 offsuit. What is this? I don't know what's going on. No idea why I played this in. Yeah, I guess I was just checking 83% ICM, kind of flat here versus another gun 2. And it doesn't look like it's anywhere close to a call. Maybe the big blind is super tight, but this guy's also very tight. So I can't see the stats here, but it's single digit right here. So maybe that's why I thought I could call. Here versus hijack. This is a pure call. I think that I thought about rejamming. And I just wanted to check. So there's a lot less rejams than I'm used to with these ICM ranges. And the guy's tight, so that's good. So it did call, and this is a board that should favor me. I don't think you should bet the turn too often. If you have a lot of 9x, 8, 9, 10, 9, and I have 10, 8, I hope Jack 9 I would just check call flop. I just want to check. It's a small size. I think I could just float it. It's a rainbow board. I'm not going to have any backdoor flush draws that I can call. So I think I can call my best ace highs. And this has got to be it. One of them. And yeah, I think this is it actually. So ace 10 off flop. Worth noting I should check raise bluff almost 20% of the time. I guess blocking with some fulls with the diamond there, but you would think it's more relevant when the jack is a diamond. Anyway, I'm not too sure. On turn though, it's mostly just a fold and call 22% of the time, check raise 6% of the time. So yeah, even versus a small size, which I think I plugged in here, 2.6 big blinds, it's more of a fold. So it's good to know. And he's a tight player, so I think that's fair. I guess I just wanted to check the flop strategy too. So it's mostly a call, sometimes a raise. Here, bunny cutoff hijack. With all the study I've done right now, I think this is probably more of a call, but 83% GTO range. Let's see. Yeah, it's a pure call. That's similar in strength to ace 10 offsuit because these two hands are theirs. There's the range. Deuces through 10s, mostly jam. Ace 6, ace 7 suited, queen 9 suited, king 9 suited. For a third of the time, king 9 suited fraction, ace 7 off. Probably 3/4 of the time, ace jack, ace queen off. Pure rejams. Ace king off about 50% of the time. And on 20 big blinds, I don't know what ace king off is, what size they're making it. Not all in, maybe 5.5 big blinds. It's worth checking actually. 20 big blinds. Big blind versus hijack. So I can read that. Okay. I think that I'm gonna move to my other screen to see if it's easier. It's 5x, so 5 big blinds. Not 5.5. Alright, so getting 3 bet both pretty small. Or like 3 bet value pretty small, and I guess also 3 bet both pretty small. Okay, good to know, good to know. And cut off versus hijack. I want to see if. Yeah, so what do I do here? 3 bet. And it's probably similar where my 3 bet size should be. So 5 big blinds, so let's check that out. Small numbers cut off. Yeah, it's 5,000, so I should just be about pretty small. Yeah, I cut that off in the screenshot, but from now on I'll keep those in the screenshot. So you hear 8s, I assume 83% is a non-all-in 3 bet and auto shove. I guess that's what I was checking. So 30 big blinds effective. The guy is 3xing. I think when people do that, it's usually a stronger range, or some of the time, it depends. Yeah, I don't know. When he 3 bets, do I really want a 3 bet call, 4 bet? Given his 3x range a bit stronger. Can I call, or is it just a 3 bet bluff? I don't know. But anyway, conclusive, I guess you could say. So standard squeeze jam here, king queen is the pure squeeze jam along with 10s to 8s. And well, 7s to 10s. If shack is considered type of hands. So these are, the offsuit versions are kind of mixed, like 2/3 of the time. Jam, third time, not all in ways. Squeeze. Alright, next time. In the money bubble ICM standard call pre-flop. It's a multi-way spot. Only gonna open cutoff call or hijack call. No, it's a cutoff call. I think one of these guys are sitting out. Chipping on the right to see the difference in calling and 4-bet jam ranges. Oh, what it is, sorry, I opened under gun, I faced a 3-bet. Someone cold called a 3-bet, and then I called. So this is the closest approximation, I guess. Just check it in the pre-flop decision. Alright, so cutoff here, 10 big blinds. 83%, I think, yeah, 2 is a shove, so 7-6 suited. I don't have reads on these guys. Just go checking. One cutoff hijack, small blind versus hijack. 10 big blinds effective. 83% ICM, so a good call. So I just want to check. Maybe 4s, I would fold, kind of, for the uncertainty, and just that he has 11 big blinds. And ace 5 suited, ace 7 suited. The bottom of the range, maybe I could fold. 6s anyways, good call. Here, GPB, but always a turn over bet versus a check bet. Oh, 13 big ones effective. No, he's 43, sorry. Yeah, 90 the pot, so 1.5 big blinds, 90% of the time. That's all there was to bet. And these are chippy ranges. So it's not ICM, but I show it better here. 94% of the time was about 1.5x pot. Jack 9. Just want to double check, kind of early stages. Maybe 83%, yeah, 83% field left. This is just a clear call. And for what it's worth, I think this player is probably, he's pretty good, but I think he's raising maybe a little bit too loose for early position. So I should call even wider. But let me see what it looks like. Yeah, 60%. No, that's pretty accurate actually. I don't know what I'm checking there. 83% field off, one call hijack. Rest of length, that is close. Okay. But I think he's leaping a weak on balanced range, around 40 big blinds. Maybe shallower stack to trap a bit. Aces, whatever, but yeah, I should just shove. Here I just want to see 6 big blinds. Is this a shove? And I found the closest model where, so this is the final table, the closest model was 6 max 25 BB average, and big line has 50, small line has 20, button has 7, etc. So there's more for the rest of them. It's the closest, yeah, so this is a jam. There's not much where he's folding. Pretty easy just to calculate your kind of rough combos of value hands. So say jacks plus are pure opens. 6 combos, each 24, and then these combined are like 1.5. So 25, what 25.5 combo or back, those are both. It's 25.5, so you can kind of just simplify and just use a couple offsuit hands, maybe king 8, queen 9. Kind of balances it. Although you seem to add up to a little bit more. No, it's about the same. This hand, early stages, chippy V. There are antes, okay. So it's just hijack from middle switch. It's just mostly a call, so they're a 3-bet. And this kind of PKO spot, I'm not too sure about these PKO spots. I cover everybody. I think I should probably flat here a little bit more than normal. So maybe I could still flat the king 9, king 8 suited, since I covered this bounty, and it's good to play some spots with bounties that you cover and let them into the pot. So maybe this is a good spot, I don't know. Yeah, 100 big blinds, chippy V, cut off first hijack. King 7 suited is sometimes a 3-bet, so I like that. I think he's probably opening wider than normal, given that he covers the big blind. Even if it's just a little bit wider, I think it's fine. So this is a clear shove, ICM in the money bubble. It's just a little bit trickier because he's going to call a little looser here with 6 big blinds. But queen 10 off is a shove, so queen jack off is just clear. Sure. 9's here, 30 big blinds. I want to see if it's a regen versus a low jack. It's sometimes a shove, sometimes a 3-bet all in. But I don't feel good 3-bet calling this off if they 4-bet jam. But I like the 3-bet jam. Even 10s, I don't know. I have to have some kind of read that he's gonna 4-bet too wide or something, or I don't even think that people don't 4-bet jam those bluffy hands that they need. I don't know how to really adjust that or resolve for that to be accurate here. Versus 6 big blind shove, I'm gonna butter this versus the under big on 2. I think it's okay, just a call here. It's a chippy V call versus 7 big blind shove in the same situation, so 5.8 for. It's just a little 83% ICM, it should be fine. That's what I wrote there. In the money bubble range, it's close since I have 8.6 big blinds and not 10. It's a pure fold here in this chart. And king 10 suited is a shove. But yeah, I guess it is kind of close. And there are some stacks that are bigger, like this 21 big blind 47. We're not going to get it as wide, so I think it's okay. Next side, I say in the money. My bad, clear fold. I don't know. It's not that clear. It's a fold here, but it's okay. It's good that I'm marking these spots that are kind of close, at least some of these spots. Here, I rejam pre-flop for about 20 big blinds. And yeah, 250 left, 119 paid. It's not really in the money though, so this spot. Let me check this. Say 40% of the field left. I think that note might have just been old from that last time. So from button versus cutoff, it's a jam. Now, smaller versus button, yeah, it's a jam most of the time, right? Through the non-limb some of the time. So it's fine. Yeah. Threes for about 15 big blinds versus the cutoff open. I'll go with it even though the chart assumes equal stacks and he has more with the risk of busting me. So it's near the ball. Yeah. It depends. He is kind of labels as fish, and I think they don't like the race fold as much, or race fold too well. So I just kind of pull that. I see here there's a shove, so I'm okay with it in some ways. You know, I still like to stick to the GTO kind of shoves, and if they don't race fold enough, then whatever that means, they're not opening enough. So I make money when they fold too much anyway. Anyway, that's what I think about it. So here is just a rejam, 25 big blinds, button versus cutoff. It is versus fish again, and it's not even close. It's just a fold, really. I'm not sure which ranges I checked. Let's see, let's check out 83%. For 83% ICM, it's a jam. Summertime. Maybe it's 40% that I use. Yeah, that's what I use. It's good to compare them, but clear for you in this situation. So this, it's on 20 bigs effective. I started off maybe around 23. So it's on 19 actually. I think rejamming pre-flop is okay. Big blind versus cutoff. I wrote it here. If they're a reg or opening wide, but I like calling here better. Versus 1/3 c-bet, it's a small raise to 4.7, and versus bigger 2/3 pot c-bet, it's a check jam on flop. So basically a pure raise. And here I guess I just compared, or I checked out the pre-flop ranges. So it's a jam here for chip EV. There would be some ICM here though, so I don't know. Oh yeah, it's a jam there, but here looking at the ICM range, it's more of a call. Let's just verify that. Let's check out. Maybe I looked at 20 big blind ranges. Yeah, that's what I looked at. I think versus 25 big blinds, it's even less. Even jack nine suited maybe becomes a call. Yeah. So it's just a call. It's really just a call. That's it. Just this is just the same thing. Alright, so that's it. That's it for that video. I'm going to review a hand history. Alright, so I have this hand history. I couldn't find too many good ones. This is from Bodog or Ignition. I guess I late reg. Too late is pretty bad. You should only register 30 or more. How do I make it faster between the two? Forget these shortcuts. The folds. So maybe I think it's maybe a bit too loose to jam, but I'm kind of hijack LoJack U2 for 12 bigs. Do I have those? Maybe I have chip U for 12 here. This is verse open jam, or it is. So it is a jam chip UV, but it's got to be like 83% of field, 43% of field. Let's see what it is for 10 big blinds. I think that's good enough. Yeah, so it's more of a jam. At least let's see, something kind of in between here probably. Yeah, so for 12 big blinds though, feels a bit too much. On this board I could probably size it up a little bit. It's double Broadway board, even though I'm really shallow. Never too thrilled, but I think I with a flush draw there too. It's good. Never fold. Oh, big line. Yes, fold. Fold. Raise fold. So the dog's crying in the background. Just fold that. Fold. We'll shove it in every hand. Yes, it's good. Raise. Shoved on. I think it fold. I wouldn't open this. It's probably pretty close. We only need 39% equity. Nah, 7 big blinds. It's for most of my tournament life. But I am curious. Maybe do I call Queen 8 suited here? Let's see. Alright, so I'm going to use the range. I'm going to use my own little note here. So there's about a 5% equity tax with 40% of the field left and not much of a difference to 83%. So we'll look at what to call with, giving ourselves just a 4 to 5% equity tax. So we only need 39% equity here. Let's give them a chippy V pushing range. Alright, let's see. It's going to pop up. Like popped up off screen. I gotta try it here. Man. Alright, I'll just type something in here. Party pair. Where is that? Could you paste everything else out? Let's do this and that. Let's do 36, 6, that would work right, type it like that again. So just check hand range, calculate out, check first, fuck, man. Get myself screwed. There's gotta be a way to fix this. Right click, click move. Where is it? Okay, I'll pause it. So I don't know if there's a way to, I only know how to do it in ICM, where you just plug in the required equity and it spits out the range. That's it. It's kind of glitching. Wasting too much time on this, but alright, fuck, whatever. I don't know. Do it like that. I can just type the hand in. Oh man, I'm tired. But so I have 42% equity and 39% equity is required. But that's if it's chip review. With that 45% ICM tax, I'm at 43 to 44%. And so super close. And if I adjust this range a bit to take out the worst hands in the range, I have even less, so I think folding's okay. Oh, actually I have more equity. No, sorry, yeah, that's equity. So I need, say 44% equity, because I lose my jam utility. So it's just fold. Alright, that's done. Okay, that's just the jam. Oh, it's probably an open. I think it's not going to have anything that hits this low board. I should see that. There's not that much. But maybe I should see that just a little bit bigger. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Raise, take that down. Zero folds. See what happens here. Big one. Need 29% equity. No, what is it? Let's see. 14% equity. And I'm not really dominated by either of them. I think I should probably call here. 20 big blinds, so I don't know. Let me see if we can open up the solver here. I'll check. It has some multi-way GTO spots. Yeah, I have some ranges here. So it's a pure call versus under the gun. If it's heads up, these are in the money bubble ranges where it's probably going to be the tightest. So if it's a pure call versus under the gun, I think I should call here. Yeah, let's keep it that. I should just jam, I think, 13 big, yeah, what the fuck, I'm not sure, but I know there's some ICM here, but That's your jam. You probably fold size. But anyway, even if it costs. So here, on this stack, so I think you just, I don't know. I don't know why I limp. I think I should raise. I'd be fine raise calling. Or soon. I guess this is like, must be some heavy ICM here. Yeah, just rejam is good there. Yeah, I don't really want to, it's kind of rejam or fold here. 17 big ones in one fold. I ever rejam this. Let's see, small versus hijack, yeah, no, just high cards. I think, let's say you have 20 picks, yeah. First cutoff, first button, same thing. Jam, so just good fold, okay. He's basically jamming for 5 picks. I should get it in here, I think. Seems loose. It seems too nearly. I don't know if it's the final table. No, it's not the final table. It's nowhere near it. Yeah. I think I'll say it's stupid. Get that in. Yeah, I guess just his 8 big blinds. It's a little crazy, I guess. This is probably too penny clicky. I don't know what to think of that. I think he's gonna fold a lot, but once he doesn't fold and he calls flop, I don't think he's gonna fold after. So there's some good play in here, but some pretty bad play too. Let's hit some spots. Just a jam. Bottom cutoff, hijack, blowjack. It's called 10 big blinds. Let's see, this is pretty loose, I think. From the low jack. Yeah, it's just a raise fold. Ace 10 is good off the shove. Ace 5, Ace 4 sometimes. But Ace 7, it's a fold a lot of the time or some of the time. And just a mid raise. But that's for 10 big lines. For 9 big lines, I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't look like the raise. Well, there's one big stack here. 25 bigs affected. He's going to call it a bit tighter. I don't think that changes enough. I don't know. Might be okay. So, what did I go? I did 11 big blind raise here. Well, button, cutoff, hijack, blowjack. So under the gun, yeah, I guess it's a bit too loose to jam. Yeah, it's a jam. Oh, fuck. For 40% of the field left, it's a mid-race. If it's the exact money bubble or like near the end of the money bubble, and everyone has similar stacks, then um, we all have the same risk of busting or something. So I think I like mid-raising here. So I lost that race full and then a jam here, 5 bigs. I'm not sure how good that is. Let's see. I'll check the chip EV. I better leave it down to 7. Yeah, 7. So for 5 big blinds, it's a big difference. 4.5. I have a chart here actually. It is bottom of range. So I think that's good. It's specific for 4, 4.5, 2. Because for 5 it's a fold, for 4 clear shove, for 4.5 clear shove. Chippy V at least. I don't know about ICM. You know, maybe with these guys. I think this 15 big blind stacks calling a bit tighter than he would versus a 4.5 big blind shove if he had 4.5 as well. I don't know. I think it's okay. Well, this shallow, I think I can black hole pretty wide. I think this is probably a call. So ICM, I have a really short stack ICM. You know, I don't know how important it is. Let's see. Let's check this out. First low jack. Oh, it's the first jams. Is there any just lamps, ISOs? They're all just first jams. So I guess the closest thing I have here is verse 13. Yeah, it's not. I don't know. I don't know. Not sure what's better there. It's just a clear jam. I guess there's some ICM here. Let's kind of see what the range should look like. Just in the money bubble, I think, or maybe final table. No, in the money bubble. Let's use that. Low jack. Ace 5 off is still a jam. So it's pretty neat. Jam it. Yeah, and jam the jack nine suited, so it's kind of inconsistent. I could probably pretty similar. So yeah, I should jam ace 5 off before I jam jack nine suited. And feel that the last hand, the big line is pretty nitty. So I think that's just a clear mistake not to jam ace 5 off. And this is a big loose. It's lucky there. It's raising off 9 basically, it's a pretty strong range. Do we find out? No. Okay, so I want to refresh the HUD, it's not working. Yeah, 50 big ones are just like showing here. Oh, it's for 6.5 effective actually. Yeah, for 50 big ones I like the show here. I like to show here. The low to mid ace-X offsuit hands, I think most ace-X offsuit hands. I shall show them. I don't know, it's an interesting spot, he's all in for 2 big blinds. I figure maybe that's my equity here a lot. I'm just waiting for a call. I don't know if that's good or bad. Let's fold. I think I'd shove that if it folds to me. Like big one. Yeah, definitely. For shove here on big blinds is good, in my opinion. Oh, it's got opens. So this is super out of line. 7-4 suited off 20 big blinds. Super crazy. Alright. So maybe I saw that now, and let's see if I adjust for a second. I'm sure this is as good as the last hand. Alright. Let's just check that out. Hardwood slow jack. Alright, it's a rejam for 10 bigs, so I'm happy with it. It's good. King Jack should be considered also on rejams. Yeah, even if it's a final table. Alright, so that's it. That's a good review for the weekend.